down season for Kyler. And we've talked a lot about the dependability of Kirk Cousins on this show. So with that being said, Marcus, I'm coming to you first. Who do you trust more, Kyler or Kirk?
It's Kirk Cousins. I trust Kirk more. And listen, this is not by a wide margin, but when you think about what we saw from Kyler Murray, obviously with D-Hop being back, and I know that was a convincing win with the Cardinals over the Saints, but Kyler Murray only threw one touchdown in that game. And I know we see his electrifying legs and he can make plays and extend them and do a phenomenal job, but we've seen Kyler and we've seen the Cardinals tail off at the end of seasons and not be able to finish. Same can be said for Kirk Cousins. But I trust just his passing ability and the way he plays with Justin Jefferson and obviously Thielen. And I think he has more at his disposal. I know DeAndre Hopkins is back, and I know that's going to help this offense tremendously. The Minnesota Vikings right now are number one in their division, playing well. Kirk Cousins is not lighting the world on fire, but I do think he gets a little bit too much scrutiny for some of the really good things that he does. And when we start talking about trustworthy, I got to look at Kyler's history and the Arizona Cardinals history. And some of this is not tied to Kyler. It's tied to his head coach, Cliff Kingsbury. I don't trust anything lasting or being good for an extended period of time with the Cardinals until they change my perception of what they've been the past 2 years. Started off on fire last year, tailed off at the end, started playing bad, looked unprepared. Before DeAndre Hopkins got back, I don't know if this team was going to have any success from an offensive standpoint outside of Kyler running the football and extending plays. So I got to go with Kirk Cousins. I think his approach, the way the Minnesota Vikings approach offense, it will last a little bit longer than what I've seen from the Arizona Cardinals.
You done lost your damn mind. Ain't no way in hell I'm trusting Kirk Cousins ahead of somebody, especially a Kyler Murray. I ain't doing that. Everybody acting like Kirk Cousins is just he just tearing down the house. What we gonna say next? That it's clear that he's an MVP candidate? Is that what we gonna say next?
Don't make me bring up the definition again.
Is that what we gonna say next about Kirk Cousins? You got to be kidding me. I got to see it to believe it. Now, we've been raving about the brother. Okay, fair enough. Kirk Cousins, okay, he's completing 66% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Well, congratulations. Just stop the presses. I mean, just knocking your socks off right there. They're 5-1. Who are they 5-1 against? Who do they beat? They beat Green Bay. We've seen what they've been this first part of the season. They got smacked around by Philadelphia. Then they won the last 4 straight. Who are those 4 victories against? The Detroit Lions, the New Orleans Saints, okay? See what their situation is defensively. We know what they can do, but offensively, obviously life is a little bit different now that Drew Brees is not there any longer. The Chicago Bears, if it wasn't for them winning against New England and Bailey Zappi, okay, the other night, all right, after Mac Jones was benched, what would we be saying? We wouldn't make that much about that. We forgot Chicago was in the damn NFL until Monday night, okay? And then, of course, the Miami Dolphins without Tua. So let's just pump the brakes just a second here. We look at Arizona and Kyler Murray, and like you said, it's not that far-fetched, right? Well, guess what, Marcus? That was without DeAndre Hopkins. That was with Cliff Kingsbury still coaching, okay? I mean, I'm looking at Arizona right now, and I'm saying, excuse me, Kyler Murray with DeAndre Hopkins back on the field with the ability that he has with those legs of his and his ability to extend plays, run the football. He saved them against the Las Vegas Raiders, for crying out loud. The question, it ain't about them being all-world or anything, because Kyler's got some improvement to do and what have you. But if you're asking me who I trust, Kirk Cousins or Kyler Murray, give me Kyler Murray all day, any day.
No way. You're totally wrong.
I am not wrong.
Murray is more dangerous than Cousins because he can make lots of plays with his legs, but Swagoo is 100% right. Cousins on a game-to-game basis. Yes, a bad game against Philadelphia. That's where you bring up all these interceptions. Last year, he threw 7 interceptions, had a wonderful year. He didn't say a word. He had one bad game against Philly, and all of a sudden, and remember, Cousins gets blamed for everything but the Kennedy assassination. I mean, it's enough.
And he might deserve to be blamed for that.
It's a dissent.
Okay? Maybe we should look that up. Was he around when Kennedy was assassinated? He might have been responsible with the amount of screw-ups he's had over the years.
You guys are way too hard on him. Give the guy a break. Did you see the playoff game that Murray played last year in L.A.?
Awful.
When he quit,
Awful.
he took himself out of the game. finished the game. They put Colt
I thought we
McCoy
weren't
in
talking
there.
about the past.
What, you forget about that?
I thought we weren't talking about the past. I thought we were talking about
That was 5 days ago. Cousins won a playoff game in New Orleans. You are so hard on Cousins. I mean, they're 5-1. Give the guy a break.
You know what's laughable?
What's
laughable is you telling me I'm hard about somebody. You got a damn channel. You got a damn channel. You come on your channel every day, slicing and dicing people up every 5 minutes. You the only guy that I know that opens your radio show, and you got about 10 people to kill before you even get to your damn opening monologue. Let me just get this out of the way right now. I got this person and that person and this person, and they're awful. And all of them. By the way, let me start what I wanted to really talk about. That's what you do. You got to be kidding me.
This is a different platform. This is television.
Great way to open a
This
show.
is television. But you are so hard on Cousins. Give the guy a break.
Listen, the man
What is it?
Listen,
Makes too much money?
I will say this to you. I do want to know who his agent is. Because that man knows how to make somebody some money.
He is
phenomenal. Before this brother did anything,
goodness.
he had him like $84 million in guarantee. I mean, what is it? He had like back-to-back years where he was making over $37 million in guaranteed money. Okay, before he got the $84 million guaranteed, and he didn't do a damn thing. He didn't play any more preseason games than me or you. That's what Kirk. That's what he got.
So you're annoyed that he's getting paid too much money. So because he's getting too much money, you're gonna kill him?
I'm not mad at him for getting too much money, Swagoo. What I'm upset about is how y'all talk about him, like you, doggy, like he the second coming.
No, I didn't say that.
You got
but you
Dalvin
kill
Cook
him.
there. You got Justin Jefferson there. He's got requisite weapons. Okay. A matter of fact, one could easily argue he's responsible for Stephon Diggs departing from Minnesota to go to Buffalo because he targeted Thielen so much. Diggs said, "Get me the hell up out of here and let me play for a quarterback that appreciates
And
me."
here's the thing about Diggs. Jefferson's better anyway. And they drafted Jefferson after they let Diggs go.
Hold on.
Jefferson's better than Diggs.
I love Justin Jefferson.
He's better.
Hold on. I
better.
love Justin Jefferson, and he might end up being
he's
better. I don't know. Better than Diggs right now?
Right this second. He's a better football player. He's much more dangerous.
You tripping.
No,
you
I'm not.
tripping right
No,
now.
I'm not.
Jefferson
and Chase.
Let's swaggle in here. But I am proud of you for knowing what I meant when I said you tripping. I'm glad that you know that vernacular. That's very good, Tony. Go ahead.
I went to boarding school. I know what tripping means. Go ahead. The 70s.
We do need to bring that up for debate one day between Jefferson and Diggs. That's a really good argument. I would go with Diggs because he's been doing it a long time, Mad Dog. But it's a legit argument, and Justin Jefferson is an LSU guy, so you know.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going
to go. Right. Yeah, I could be persuaded. But Stephen A, I'm gonna say this, man. Like you're looking at the talent from the quarterback and how much he can impact the game, and that's fair. Right, but in totality, you look at Kyler Murray has only thrown 7 touchdowns and he's thrown 4 picks. So it ain't like we comparing some outer worldly numbers to each other when it comes to this quarterbacking. When you start talking about trust, though, and if we're looking, if we're talking about this particular game or we're talking about in the future, I don't think there's a more untrustworthy player or franchise than the Arizona Cardinals right now.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to cast anything negative on them right now, but if you look at the past 2 years, this team that fell off a cliff when it got serious. Yeah. No pun intended.
But part of that was when DeAndre Hopkins got hurt. Then DeAndre Hopkins is suspended, and then he comes back. Yeah, and then they win.
Molly,
I'm just saying, it's the
Molly,
fact.
if we gonna pay a quarterback $189 million, and we're gonna start talking about what he's supposed to do and elevate. And they even went out and got Marquise Brown this year, who trust me, I'm not comparing anything to DeAndre Hopkins. He's a top 2 guy at the wide receiver spot in the NFL, in my opinion. But when you think about what Kyler Murray can do and what he's shown flashes of, and also this coaching staff, I cannot talk about Kyler Murray without talking about how bad his head coach is. So when we start talking about trustworthy down the road, I'm not trusting them dudes until they prove to me that they're not going to fall off a cliff again.
We
got to leave it there, right? Kirk Cousins, Michael Irvin's MVP pick. Like I always like to remind him. We'll remind him again on Monday. All right, Swagoo, I will see you in FC on Friday.